Looking at this amazing temple, by what authority does it stand? To whom or what would get the glory for its beauty? Is it that solid foundation on which the temple is built, or is it the temple itself? Well, I submit to you that it is neither. Revelation 4:11 says, "You are worthy, Adonai Eloheinu, to have glory, honor, and power, because you created things. Yes, because of your will, they were created and came into being." The creator, the builder, the architect, Adonai, retains the authority and receives the glory from the temple's reflected beauty. After all, it was his true and living word that spoke creation into being in Genesis 1:3. When building a temple of such grandeur as was in our first slide, knowing the master builder's character, his integrity, reliability, and the quality of his work establishes a confidence to move forward with him, allowing him to begin building the foundation. Up to today's parashah, Adonai has been continuously revealing himself to the children of Israel through 10 plagues, a blood over the doorpost deliverance, nearly 40 years of desert wandering complete with food, water, long-lasting shoes and clothing, and even a unique personal encounter with Adonai, as explained in Exodus 19. Adonai, speaking directly to them from the fire, unveiled to them himself, saying, "I am Adonai your God, who brought you out of Egypt, where you lived as slaves." Per Sefaria, an online resource for Jewish learning, God's proclamation of the 10 Commandments at Sinai was an unparalleled event of divine revelation, offering a proof of the divinity of the Torah. Well, today in Va'et Chanan, I pleaded, Adonai, through Moshe, reminds his chosen people of the foundation he established for his people to live by. The Aseret HaDibrot, the 10 statements, or as we know them, the 10 commandments. Look with me at the first slide of the first commandment, stated in Deuteronomy 5:6. Note the aleph before the verse, at least in the complete Jewish Bible. That aleph, or the first Hebrew letter, declares authority. It declares leadership, strength, the one who is to come first. The solid foundation that Adonai established began with a strong reminder of who was to always come first, who held the authority. In Deuteronomy 4:1 and 2, Moshe reminds the people of their 4 responsibilities regarding God's spoken foundational laws and rulings. 1, listen. 2, follow them so that you will live. Then you will go in and take possession of the land that Adonai, the God of your fathers, is giving you. 3, obey the mitzvot of Adonai your God, which I am giving you. And 4, do not add to what I am saying. Do not subtract from it. In Deuteronomy 4:10, Adonai says, gather the people to me, and I will make them hear my very words, so that they will learn to hold me in awe as long as they live on the earth, and so they will teach their children. Adonai's heart is again revealed in Deuteronomy 5:25 and 26. Adonai says to Moshe, it's at the time where the people agree to obey everything that God has said, he says, I have heard what this people has said when speaking to you, and everything they said is good. Oh, how I wish their hearts would stay like this always, that they would fear me and obey all my mitzvot, so that it would go well with them and their children forever. After all, Adonai, the architect, builder, and creator, knew how glorious his chosen people would be if they listened to, followed, and obeyed him. He knew the fulfillment of the promises he had for his chosen, including, you will go in and take possession of the land that Adonai, God of your fathers, is giving you. Therefore observe them, follow them, and then all the peoples will see you as a people having wisdom and understanding. When they hear of these laws, they will say, the great nation is surely a wise and understanding people. For what great nation is there that God has a God as close to them as our Adonai, our God, is when we call on him? That's from Deuteronomy 4:5 and 7. God's heart for and his goal for creating a living temple of people who respect his authority and reflect his majesty has not changed. Since the children of Israel received the Aseret HaDibrot, Adonai has fortified his foundation. In 1 Peter 2:6 it reads, "Look, I am laying in Zion a stone, a chosen and precious cornerstone, and whoever rests his trust on it will certainly not be humiliated." In Ephesians 2:19 through 22, we're reminded, "So then you are no longer foreigners and strangers. On the contrary, you are fellow citizens with God's people and members of God's family. You have been built on the foundation of the emissaries and the prophets, with the cornerstone being Yeshua the Messiah himself. In union with him, this whole building is held together, and it is growing into a holy temple in union with the Lord. Yes, in union with him, you yourselves are being built into a spiritual dwelling place for God. This is provided, as Hebrews 3:6 states, as his house, or temple in this case. We hold on to the courage and the confidence inspired by what we hoped for. Yeshua, our cornerstone, showed us how. Though he was in the form of God, he did not regard equality with God as something to be possessed by force. But on the contrary, he emptied himself. He took on the form of a slave, becoming like human beings are. And when he appeared as a human being, he humbled himself still more by becoming obedient even to death on the stake as a criminal. Therefore, God raised him to the highest place and gave him the name above every other name, that in honor of the name of Yeshua, every knee will bow in heaven and on earth and under the earth, and every tongue will acknowledge that Yeshua the Messiah is Adonai, to the glory of God the Father." God's heart, oh, how I wish their hearts would stay like this, that they would fear me and obey all my mitzvot, so that it would go well with them and their children forever, has not changed. Neither has his goal of ruling a kingdom with Kohanim to serve him and to bring him glory. Today, the choices to listen, to follow, to obey, and to uphold God's words as he declared it, not adding to or subtracting from, are ours. Let us wholeheartedly allow Adonai to build us into living temples that stand on the firm foundation of his word, and in turn, let us reflect his exceptional glory to all. Baruch Hashem.